so now that the installation is done, not 100% complete because there are obvious little things. If you were going to be critiquing this installation, there's still some things that we probably want to get done here, like our final insulation that we'd want to put inside here for insulating the hot and cold line that would be required, and that will get taken care of. You can see that in a retro application like this, you're kind of stuck with putting your plumbing together based on how the old plumbing was. This one's kind of a retro from a 75-gallon water heater, so we had to send the lines from up high down low. Unfortunately, Navien doesn't have that option in this condensing style unit of a top connection as they do in some of their other units that aren't the condensing units. So this one here, we just had to deal with what we had to deal with, which was where the gas line was, where our pressure relief line was not optimal, but we have to make work with what we make work. Definitely, with this old water heater, had some leaking issues off of the calcification on the recirc pump, which led to some leaking on here. So this fan's going to be getting some cleanup done on it after we leave, as well as some painting and some cleanup of the discoloration on the wall. So this is not a complete application, just want to demonstrate what the water heater's features are. So on here, Bert, what questions would you have for me for your installation of your water heater?
So on a regular basis, what type of maintenance schedule do I need to maintain to keep this in top running condition?
Yeah, so perfect, good question. So these water heaters do require to get flushed out once a year. Okay, it's always best to make sure that in the process of setting up your tankless water heater that your valves, for your isolation valves, are in an optimal position in order for us to be able to connect onto them so that we can flush these water heaters on our once a year. It's done with a solution. We usually use here a distilled grade white vinegar solution to pump through here, usually about 5 gallons, usually for about 45 minutes, and we do that once a year to make sure that that heat exchanger stays nice and clean internally in here. So this particular heat exchanger is a stainless steel 15-year warranted heat exchanger from the manufacturer, but it is required to keep it up to code, and to keep it up to your warranty, you do have to flush it once a year.
Also, what about as far as the water temperature? If I want to change the, increase or decrease it
Sure.
on the inside of the house, how do I adjust that?
Yeah, so this one here is very user-friendly. It is strictly your up and down arrows. This one we've already pre-programmed prior to the video going on here. So we set this one already up so that it's in an external mode, external mode of the recirculation pump with our recirc line connected to the water heater. But in order to change your temperature, it's pretty simple. You're just going to hold your up and down arrow, let it go for about 3 seconds, and it's going to start going up. And then you're just going to increase your temperature up to desired temperature and down to what the manufacturer recommends, also at 120. Let it go for a second and it'll just go back to its normal use. Okay, so right there you're at 120. Now it's not going to toggle between there anymore, and you're set for your 120. If that doesn't feel warm enough to you, you can easily come out here at any time and change that temperature to make it feel warm to you. So what happens is inside your showers, because you do have that balancing spool in your shower valves, your temperature is going to feel hotter at your single handle fixtures because there's no mixing going on in your single handle hot water fixture. So when you're turning that on, you're going to get direct 120 degree water, which is going to cool down a little bit as it delivers the water to that furthest fixture. But when you're putting it in a shower that's got your balancing spool, you've got cold and water mixing together, so you're never going to feel like it's as hot at your shower as you are going to feel at your single handle fixture on your other fixture. So if it doesn't feel hot enough in your shower, you definitely need to come out here and turn this up a little bit.
Yeah, what about as far as like a vacation mode? If we were gone for a week or so, is there anything we need to do to the unit to put it to sleep or anything like that?
Yeah, so very simple. On this one here, you just turn your power off. Okay, your power's off, and you can turn your water off to just be safe. Turn your water off right there, and that effectively has no water going through it anymore, and it is not telling it to do anything. Okay, so while it's in this mode here, you're in vacation mode, and you don't have to do another thing to this water heater while you're away. So probably best to also make sure that you undo you turn the pump off as well right here at the recirc line.
Okay.
But do remember to turn that back on when you're back.
Right.
Yeah, you always want to leave it back the same way that you found it. But
So I don't need to turn off the main water valve outside. I can just turn it off here.
Yeah. So if
Okay.
you do turn it off because you're concerned about your whole house,
Yeah.
then yes, turn it off out there,
Oh, okay.
and that shuts everything off. But do go ahead and turn the power off to this so that you can get this into normal mode, so that it's not trying to use your recirc pump and trying to use other parts of your house. This leaves it just in the effective mode of just being a dead unit at that point. Okay, very easy to get fired back up. Just turn it back on, turn your water back onto it, and you don't have to do anything else. You're all set.
Also, is there a way to control this machine or this device, the system, via an app?
Yes. So this is equipped internally inside here to use our Navien system. It is a aftermarket product. You do have to order that. You do have to have it connected into a boot that goes through here, connects into this program system here, and it connects to your wall. You can then you can use that to adjust anything, check all your settings inside there, as well as connect it Wi-Fi to your phone. And with your phone app that you install, then you can if you're geeky and you have a lot of good technical skills, you can learn how to read your water usage. You can adjust your temperature up and down right from your phone app. A lot of really cool features in the Wi-Fi, which we can definitely go through. In a later time, we'll go through a complete installation of that, as well as how to operate it.
Okay.
Yep. So,
one other question. You'd mentioned earlier about that filtration system or conditioning system. Right. How would that work with this unit?
So with the Halo, it's really good to have that Halo in line with this particular unit, because what that's going to do is it's going to keep the hard water and the mineral calcium buildup that's going to go through this heat exchanger. It's going to limit that. So it's going to condition that water so that you're getting really good pure drinking water at every single fixture, as well as maintaining this heat exchanger for giving it the optimal life that it should have. This water heater particularly should last you about 20 years. Okay, if it's maintained and done correctly, you should have a good 20-year use out of this water heater. Where if we would have went back to a regular tank water heater, you can expect to get anywhere from 6 years to 10 years out of a tank water heater, especially with the water condition that you have here. So this particular unit you should have, maintain, which we will put you on a maintenance program so that we come out here once a year for you, maintain this water heater and make sure that it's running optimally, which means we'll come in and we'll change out, we'll clean out the water filtration system inside here, the built-in water filter system inside here, as well maintain your venting system. So those are the basic things that you'd want to maintain on this, once a year to make sure that this thing stays up and running.
So otherwise, there's nothing else that I need to do.
Nothing else that
as an
you as a
owner of this
homeowner.
unit.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this is a very, very basic install on this one here. Very easy to use. Should give you a long life, especially with what you anticipate in your use here, which you've got that nice big soaker tub in your master. You've got the multiple amount of fixtures inside your house, and you do have a larger family. So this one here is definitely a good system for your particular house. You'll find that you should not run out of hot water in this one here. Ideally, with the temperatures that we have right now of our water coming into our house, you should get anywhere between 12 to 15 gallons of water per minute from this particular unit here. Okay, because you got 199,000 BTUs. You can see that this is what we call Energy Star rated. Okay, and with the Energy Star rating, you also can get some manufacturer savings, which means if you send this, once it's registered, you can send this to your municipality for getting some of those tax credits and savings. I think there might even be a $500 one right now, so you need to check in with your particular gas company right now, and you might be able to get some money back out of this water heater. Okay, so I would definitely check with your municipality on that. Once it's registered, we'll get you that information as well. You should be able to get some money back on that. So the other thing about this unit is the reason why these are energy efficient is because they're what we call a condensing unit, which means that it creates an amount of condensation that comes from this unit here, and it runs through this, and we like to take it to the outside where it drips to a particular area that's not going to become staining, because it is a high acidic area. You do want to use a PVC type material so that that material doesn't get eaten through that acid, and take it to an area that's not going to be staining. Otherwise, we'd want to put on what we call a neutralizer on this, which these do come available with what we call a neutralizer. So in the event that you didn't have a place to take this that had the ideal area like yours here where it drips into a rock bed, where it's not going to stain anything, you would put what we call a neutralizer on it, and then it can go right to your concrete and drip onto concrete or something like that. It's not going to discolor that, but you do have to also maintain those neutralizers and particular things like that. But this is your basic setup. We chose to go and redo through your venting system that you currently have, which is common. It can go to a sidewall, or it can go through your existing vent.
So what is the other vent opening there?
So that one there is what is your air intake. So this is what's making this thing breathe. So it's going to draw the air in from here, and you've got plenty of air mass inside here to run this particular unit. So you shouldn't have any problems with this one.
So does it draw air in only when it's operating? Or
when it's
all
operating?
the time?
No, only when it's operating.
When it's operating.
Yeah, so it's going to suck that intake air as it's operating. Okay. Yeah, so this is your basic setup. There's no really, as a homeowner, there's really no other functions you really need to be concerned with. The main thing is just making sure that it's maintained on a yearly basis.
And there's nothing that I, as an homeowner, need to do as far as maintenance. There's nothing.
No. When we come out and do your once a year flushing, we're going to go ahead and take care of the rest of those little minor things that you need to make sure that you take care of while we're in the process of flushing it. We'll take this apart. There's some screens inside here that need to get cleaned out that go for your intake here. There's some filters in there that need to get cleaned out, as well as a filter right here inside your water flow. So there's a water flow sensor in there, as well as a screen, and that screen needs to get cleaned out on a once a year basis as well.
Last question. So if I'm interested in getting that halo filtration system or conditioning, how soon should I get that in order to optimize its
I would want to do that within the first year.
Within the first year,
because realistically, the sooner the better. But you're gonna have your first year's worth of use out of this thing before we come back out here and flush it. It's ideally the time to probably do it at your first service.
Okay, good.
So next year I would definitely consider putting that within the budget of making sure that that's something that we do for you on the next visit there.
Excellent.
But other than that, we've got it all kind of pre-set up, ready to go, and you should have a easy use of a lot of years of happy hot water out of this particular unit. You should be happy with it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bob.
Thank you so much for your business, and it's always my pleasure to assist you with your plumbing needs.
My pleasure. Yeah. Thank you.